So Shoei has a transitions lens. Should you buy it? Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to Roads of Oz. My name is Matt, and on this episode we're looking at the transitions lens that will fit the Shoei Spirit 3. Now the model denomination on this one is it's a CWR-1 transitions lens, and it is compatible with the Shoei Spirit 3, the NXR, and also the RYD helmets. So it fits a range of Shoei helmets, but it's not cheap. I had to pay $249.95. That's Australian dollars for everyone out there, so you do the conversion. Now, it is expensive, but consider I was going in to buy a dark tinted visor, and it was about $130. And this is effectively double the price, but because I bought it specifically for my trip, space was a premium. So instead of carrying two lenses and having to swap and interchange them at various times, I thought the transition lens would be quite good, and I wasn't disappointed. Now you hear a lot of reviews saying, oh, the transition is too slow. Well, it takes about 2 minutes, and we can actually watch it go from clear to dark up next. So as you can see, there's been no expense spared on my timing device. Now the moment you get the helmet out in the sun, you'll see it slowly starts to tint, and you can still see my face at this stage. Now the manual says it takes up to 2 minutes to get to the full tint level, and I think that is spot on. By the time you get to 2 minutes in this video, you can barely see my face. Now it's not the darkest tint out there, but it does good enough. And especially with my lily white skin, I did not get burnt the whole time I used this helmet. The tint works and it keeps the UV out, which is such a bonus with my precious lily white skin. Now you can still just make out my nose at this point, but in another minute you'll be barely able to see that. Now even though it says 2 minutes, at the minute 13 mark it is probably as dark as it's going to get, and as you can see you can't make out my face, you can barely see through the visor, but on the inside the transition is so gentle that you barely realise that it's gone dark. So what I like about that transition speed, it doesn't affect your eyesight. You barely notice it happens, and especially after the 2 minutes, you don't realise that it's fully tinted by then. So I think that's part of the problem, that people seem unaware. Same as if you hit a tunnel, it does take a little bit to go back to clear, then ramp back up to dark. But really 2 minutes isn't that long a time, especially for the sheer convenience compared to if you had to stop, change your lens. It takes far more than 2 minutes having to pack a lens, put it on your helmet. So really happy with it that way. Now what I was disappointed with it, now for $249 I was expecting it to come with a pin lock system, but it doesn't. Even though you can fit one to it, it doesn't come. You have to buy that separately. So that then pushes this visor and a pin lock system up to $300, and that is expensive, but for the sheer convenience it's worth every cent. Now I thoroughly enjoyed having the transition lens on this helmet. It made my life so much easier, and in fact most helmets in the future, if they don't have a transition lens, will probably be a deal breaker for me. It's very handy, especially when you're riding day and night, and just the sheer convenience. Now it held up fairly well. I've done over 5,000 kilometers using this visor. The vision is good in it, as you'd expect. Now I haven't done speaking of helmets, I haven't done a review on this one yet. Hit me up in the comments if you want to know my thoughts in the Spirit 3 helmet. But the transition lens is definitely worth every cent. So there's not really that much more I can tell you. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it sucks it doesn't come with the pin lock system, but the sheer convenience of it going dark and light, all without you having to do a thing, it just does it on itself. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. It was just a short one. Definitely, if you've got the Shoei helmets and you can get a transition lens for it, I suggest you get it. I'm not sure. I know Bell used to make a transition lens for one of their helmets, and that almost got me across to buying a Bell, and it wasn't that expensive. Sadly, they dropped the transition lens from that range, which I thought was crazy because that was its best selling point. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, hit the share button, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. It helps out my channel massively. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.